Hey folks, I wanted to give you a quick update as we are moving rather quickly into the back half of the month of July. It's been a very choppy month, and we do think that's likely to persist, but I just want to give you some perspective of where things are. You look at industrial stocks, for example, here, consolidating. They've reached the low run of trend. This is the weekly chart, and now they're right back at the upper end. Could we get a breakout to the upside? Certainly possible. For now, until that happens, we are in a consolidation phase. And quite frankly, industrials have been consolidating since early May, which, by the way, is when the broader market started consolidating. You look at something like small capitalization stocks, the IWM ETF, been consolidating since the month of February. Since the month of February, reached a low end of trend. Now they're bouncing, could reach the upper end of trend, certainly possible. Not quite sure a breakout to the upside in a real meaningful fashion is possible anytime soon. But then you start digging a little bit deeper into things like the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I'll go back to the weekly chart and you'll see same exact scenario. We remain in a choppy trading range, in this case since, again, early May. That's like the industrial stocks that I mentioned before. You look at the financial complex, XLF, same deal here. We peaked out in the month of May. They've been consolidating. You look at the healthcare space, one of the few spaces that continues to grind higher. And so there's actually enough market breadth underneath the surface. If you take the healthcare space, you take the NASDAQ 100, that seemingly continue to push higher to ultimately lead to breakouts in more cyclical oriented stock. It's certainly possible. We are certainly haven't seen it though. You look at something like the SMH, semiconductor stocks, very important to me. They are coiling below support. Could we see a breakout? Yes, it's possible. But again, we do remain in a trading range for right now. A lot of this really does depend on what inflation and growth looks like. In fact, that's always the big stories. You look at 10-year yields real quickly. In my personal opinion, and this is just our review here, but just for what we see, we do think that the low in yields is likely very close to being in, and that we will see a transition back into a more sort of, well, we already have inflation. It's just that the bond market hasn't been reflecting that in the middle part of the curve here in 10-year Treasury note. But we do think we want to watch this very closely, the weekly chart, see what bonds are doing. The dollar, by the way, as a result of this really volatile market in bonds, continues to go higher. And that'll be bringing about some very interesting dynamics. But really overarching sort of point here is really that things do remain very choppy, and you want to be careful. We are underneath the surface though seeing, I'm going to give you a couple individual names just so you kind of get your head around, you can get your head around this. You look at something like, I'm going to start off with an industrial stock, GMS. You look at a stock like this, beautiful breakout in March, consolidation, consolidation, consolidation. First leg higher, higher low, and now maybe we might be heading higher again. You look at some of the stocks in the financial space. These are not classical financial, but you look at something like MBI. This is the daily chart. I'll make it a weekly chart for some perspective. You can see a breakout that occurred. The first breakout occurred in June, and now we're looking like we're moving higher. You look at CME, another financial stock. This is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group. You can see consolidating below resistance. We are consolidating right now, but we could ultimately break to the upside. Very, very possible. Last but not least, I'll give you a retail name, BJ, which is Wholesale Club, BJ Wholesale Club, I should say. And you can see this stock has been consolidating really for the most part since August of last year, and it's just right now this week as I'm recording this breaking out. So I hope this helps you for a little bit of perspective. Again, overall, we remain in a choppy market, but there is starting to be signs of more pockets of breakouts that we could see that continuing rolling, opening rolling trade start working again. We will monitor this and of course update you. Take care and have a good, successful week.